Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today we will start with the new new chapter in the first module, that is bricks. Okay. So what are bricks, and what are how the manufacturing of the bricks will be done, and what are its requirements, and what is that qualities of good brick. So all those points we will study. Okay. Okay. Now bricks. Bricks are obtained by molding clay, molding the clay in rectangular blocks. These are called as rectangular blocks of uniform size, and then by drying and by burning these blocks. Okay, so what is that? Fresh clay will be taken and they will be put in the rectangular box of uniform size, and drying will be done and burning these things. We'll get what? We'll get the bricks. Okay. Now, as bricks are of uniform size, they can be properly arranged, light in weight. Hence, bricks will replace the stones. Generally stones will be heavy, and their manufacturing is also a little bit difficult. They will be not in a regular shape, but bricks are light in weight as well as in regular shape or uniform size and shape. So therefore they can be easily replace the stones. Okay, so how they have manufactured? By clay, molding the clay in rectangular blocks, and then drying and burning them, we will get what? Bricks. Now in this one, what we are seeing, what what are the different constituents, or you can say composition, what are the different constituents or composition of the good brick. First, what is that made up of? The main constituent will be aluminum, silica. These two are the main important things which are present. They will give the property, desired properties such as color, bindingness. Okay, all those things will be important. Lime, CaOH twice, oxide of iron, Fe2O3. Okay, now magnesia. These are the five basic composition which are present in a good brick, which are present in the good brick. In this one, first is alumina. It is the chief constituent of every kind of clay. Generally, the bricks are the raw product, for the raw material for the manufacturing of brick is nothing but clay itself, nothing but clay. So clay is made up of what? Clay is made up of alumina. First primary material will be alumina. So a good brick should contain 20 to 30% of alumina. Good brick should contain 20 to 30% of alumina. This constituent, what will happen? Alumina is there. It will give what? Plasticity to the earth. It will give plasticity to the earth so that it can be molded. Earth is nothing but raw material only. Earth, we generally call it as earth or clay. Both are same thing. So alumina present in the earth will give plasticity so that it can be molded into any shape. So if alumina is present in excess, raw bricks shrink. These raw bricks will shrink and warp. Shrinking means reduction in size. Warping means it will get just a little bit out of shape, like it will bend like this. It will bend. It will not be of rectangular shape. Rectangle means not shrinking or not warping. Warping means there will be a disorientation of the brick size. So if alumina is present in a more percentage, so it will give what? Shrinkage and warping. During which process? During the drying process or burning process. These are the procedure which will be happening in the manufacturing of the bricks. Okay, so alumina 20 to 30% plasticity it will give. Excess, what will happen? Shrinkage and warping will be there. Next compound is silica. The next composition of the brick will be silica. See, a good brick should contain minimum 50 to 60% of silica. Minimum 50 to 60% of the silica. Okay. Silica exists in clay either as free or in combined form. Free means Si, combined means some other chemical which will be added. Okay, some other compounds it has been added. Okay, presence of silica prevents shrinkage and warping. What will happen if you are adding silica? So the shrinkage will be less. That means silica prevents shrinkage and also warping. So silica is very important. So that is why its composition is 50 to 60% highest. Okay, it prevents shrinkage and warping of the raw bricks. Raw bricks means still it is not dried or still it is not burnt. Okay, so it thus imparts uniform shape. The main composition which is giving shape means what? Silica. It is giving the uniform shape to the bricks. Okay. So the durability of the bricks depends upon the proper proportion of the silica. So the total quality of brick is depending upon proper proportion of which compound? Silica. Silica in the bricks. Excess silica, what will happen if you are putting silica in a more quantity? So the cohesion between the particle will be lost. Cohesion means the attractiveness between the particles will be lost and bricks will become brittle. So it will become brittle. Okay, so silica 50 to 60%. It will avoid shrinkage and warping. It is the main component which will provide uniform shape. So the proper proportion is very important. If it is in more content, silica is more, cohesion is lost, bricks will become brittle. These are the simple points related to silica. Next compound present in the earth for brick is lime. Lime is also present in that raw material. So generally a small quantity of lime is desirable in finely powdered state to prevent shrinkage. Okay, so excess lime causes the brick to melt. So excess is also causing what? Melting of the brick. Hence its shape is lost. Okay, due to the splitting of the brick. So what is important? Lime is added in a powdered form. It will prevent shrinkage. Excess will cause melting. Okay, and shape is lost. Next compound present in the present in the raw material is oxide of iron. Oxide of iron, a small quantity of oxide of iron, 5 to 6% present. 5 to 6% is present, which is good. Why it is good? Because it is giving what? Red color. It is giving red color. So how you will tell what is the function of iron oxide? So directly you can say it is giving what? Red color. It is giving red color. Excess iron oxide makes the bricks color as dark blue or blackish. So normal amount red color, excess iron oxide it will give dark blue or blackish color. Okay, so next compound which is present, magnesia. A small quantity of magnesia in brick earth imparts what color? It will give yellow color to the bricks and decreases what? Shrinkage. So yellow color is obtained by magnesia, but excess magnesia decreases the shrinkage and leads to decay of the brick. So normal quantity it will reduce the shrinkage, okay, and high quantity it will decay the bricks. Okay. So the ingredients like iron pyrites, alkalis, pebbles, organic matter should not present in the raw material, should not present in the good brick earth. Brick earth means nothing but raw material. It is nothing but raw material. So what are the five major compounds? Aluminium first, okay, aluminium, silica, okay, lime, okay, magnesia, okay, iron oxide, okay. The last one, what is that? Five compounds. Five is aluminium, silica, lime, magnesium, iron oxide, and these are the other things. Okay. Now the very important point from the exam point of view, that is what? manufacturing, how you manufacture the clay bricks. Okay, so the manufacture of the brick contains the following operation. First is preparing the clay, means what, how you generally prepare raw material. Second is molding, putting the prepared clay in a definite shape. And next is drying. The last one is burning. Okay, clay preparation, molding, drying, burning. These are the four major operations which are present in the manufacturing of clay bricks. We'll see one by one. Exam point of view, it is a lot of time it is asked. So the first step, what is that? Preparation of the clay. First step is preparation of the clay. So in that one, what is the first one? In the preparation of the clay, that is the first major step. In that, sub steps are there. Unsoiling, digging, cleaning. We can easily understand, no? Unsoiling means removing the top layer. Digging means excavating the earth. Cleaning means removing the unwanted material. These are the simple things you can easily understand. Okay. In the unsoiling, the top layer up to 20 centimeter depth is removed as it contains impurities. That is the first sub step in the preparation of the clay. Okay, so unsoiling, removing the top layer. Digging, the clay is dug out from the ground and is spread on level ground. You remove the earth top layer and it take out the next earth, and you are going to spread it on the level ground about 60 centimeter to 120 centimeter height. 120 centimeter height. So next is what? Cleaning. Stones, pebbles, vegetable matter, etc. removed and converted into powder form. What do you mean by that one? After removing the soil, you are going to spread it on the ground. Okay? After separate it on the ground, the bigger lumps will be broken down into small powder. So first three steps, still some more steps are there. We'll see unsoiling, digging, cleaning. Okay. So in this photo, you can easily see there. In this photo, you can easily see they have removed the earth and they have kept it spread on the level ground. So they are doing what? Cleaning, digging. Okay, those procedures have been completed here. This is called as mixing, or you can say tempering. Tempering is one of the process. Okay. So next is what? Weathering. Weathering is nothing but clay is exposed to atmosphere for few weeks. Okay. Weathering means that clay, the prepared clay is exposed to the atmosphere for a few weeks to full season. To the full season. Okay. Blending. Blending is nothing but clay is made loose. Clay is made loose. Any ingredient to be added. Any ingredient to be added to its spread. So at the top they are putting and they are turning it up and down, in a vertical direction. They are just nothing but blending, or you can say mixing in a proper direction. Next is what? Tempering. Very important. Tempering is nothing but attaining a proper water content inside the clay. Attaining the proper water content inside a clay, such that that clay, or what you can say, the raw material is converted into a fresh brick making clay. Fresh brick making clay is obtained by this process that is called as tempering. Okay, so the clay is brought to a proper degree of hardness. So that clay is brought to a proper degree of hardness, then water is added. So that is why I was telling water content. So the water is added to clay and the whole mass is kneaded or pressed. Kneaded or pressed is nothing but continuously applying a small pores and mixing, again applying the force, mixing. So applying of the force may be done by human also or maybe machine. Okay, continuously mixing, pressing is called as a tempering process. Okay, so under the feet of men, that is what I was telling. Okay, people can also do this tempering process, or sometimes you can use the animals for that one, or you can generally done using a pug mill. The tempering process is done using the pug mill, as shown in the next diagram. So I will explain in this one, next column. Okay, This one you can see, this is a typical pug mill. It is called as pug mill. So see here, here it is the ground level. Here you can easily see the ground level is here. Okay, in this way it is ground level. This is a big chamber. You can say this is a big chamber, or you can say cylinder. At the outside there is a rotating arm, or you can say handle. You can say it is a handle. So that is why we have given the name long arm. So it can be rotated. So it can be rotated like this. Okay. So there is a continuous vertical shaft is attached here inside that cylinder. Continuous vertical. Can you see this line? So this is called as vertical shaft. So to this vertical shaft, there are knives, or you can say horizontal arms. Here is one arm, second arm, third arm, fourth arm. So like that, horizontal arms are attached to the vertical shaft. Okay. So on these arms, small knives are attached.